Now, I don't want to take too long here, guys, but I think this is going to be good. So look, when I'm analyzing my games, and a lot of you have asked this, so let's talk about it. So let's say I played this in a tournament, I came back from the tournament, I want to analyze my game. What I do is, I take the notation and, just one second. Sorry guys, I take the notation and I reproduce the game on my own. I just know, I don't want any help from any friends or coaches or computers, just you, because sometimes you make silly mistakes or you just don't see things clearly when you are under pressure in the tournament. So I do it on my own, and many times I just see things that I didn't see during the game. So I'm like, oh, I make notes, I think I could have done this better. And that's the first screening that I do. And then I compare it to what the engine has to say. So once you do that, do not skip that step. That's more important as anything else. Then I go to the engine, and what you want to do is look at, if I go, let me see. Oh, wait, I don't think you guys can see. Wait. I can take care of that. Wait, let me see. Okay, guys, now you can see it. All right, so now you can see the whole analysis. So anyways, when I'm doing this, let me see if it lets me details, no, analysis. Okay, over here. So you see this evaluation, it is going to be 0 because we just started. If I go through the game, this is another one of the things you could do, and I see a drastic change. I'm gonna go back to do it slowly, but you see 0 point something all the way up to here, 0.0. This is move number, I wanna say number 9. So if I see that changes, then I want to pay attention to it. Maybe I missed a tactic. Maybe my opponent missed a tactic. So that's one of the things that I look for. That evaluation, if there's a drastic change, something over 1 point or so, I want to pay attention to it. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Now, when you're reviewing the game, and actually let's do this one together. So we started, guys, with G6. Notice that it says it's a book move. And by the way, after this, only a few minutes, I'm going to challenge another of you guys. So just bear with me here. G3, bishop G7, all of this, look, book moves, and E5, nothing out of the theory, and now A5. This is the first move that it was me who did it completely out of the theory. Now I did it because I'm familiar with these positions, and I told you back then I wanted my knight to get to C5. So A5 is it was important to me. So not a book move, but still good. My opponent, like you said, is playing really well. Knight b to d7, not the best move. Now, castling is marked as an inaccuracy. They wanted him to do rook to b1. Well, guys, I guess it's because rook b1 is more consistent with a3. He wanted to do b4. Well, you want to follow through. If you did a3 already, then try to justify it by making that b4. And of course, this expansion is customary in the English opening. All right, so knight c5, good move. We know why. If you're not new to the channel, you should know from the King's Indian defense, this knight typically likes to be on c5. Now, this next move, I think I took on f4. I'm not sure how the engine likes it, but it just made sense to me. So he takes f4, the saying is fine, okay? Knight takes, knight g4 was a blunder. So I missed something here. Now look at this. It's giving 1.36. So this is something that I want to look with the engine. What did I miss here? So it might have been something with maybe d4. So let's take a look. Now, yeah, there you go. This is the other part. If you see a blunder, you see a huge change in evaluation, guys. Look at this little, I don't know if you can see it, how well you can see it, but the engine tells you the variation. So you look into this to see what we missed. So the engine is saying he had d4, I had to move the knight, h3. So they're saying d4, I had to move the knight, then h3, making me go away. And of course, I guess what they like now, well, they're giving now queen c2. Well, I guess it's just, guys, that knight g4 is not giving me anything. So I went there to try to do f5, but if my opponent had done d4 followed by h3, then I go back empty-handed and my opponent has a better position. So basically, this is a waste of a move, apparently. So this is something that I want to look into. And it's not just saying, oh, this is a blunder, I shouldn't do it. No, what should I have done instead? So the engine is saying I should have done a4. I had this in mind, and typically we do it in the King's Indian to do knight b3, knight d4, and so on. So anyways, guys, my opponent blundered because he didn't do d4. So something for him to learn as well. f5, another blunder, enjoy. Now, after f5, notice that it's not a blunder that I'm going like 3 points or anything like that. It's 124. But still, what is the better move? Well, a4 still. So apparently a4 is the move that I never did here. Now, they're saying e takes f5, bishop f5, d4, 96. Apparently, my opponent, that was exclam, right? What is that? Okay, it's a great move. So that's, I don't know if it's a brilliant move. No, great move, just one exclam. So guys, I guess the move that he missed was d4. And that's something for all of us to learn. So d4, he did bishop d5 instead. I moved the king. h3 is a blunder, and knight f6. Again, knight f6. Every time he doesn't do d4, guys, the engine is gonna mark it as a blunder. So we both underestimated d4. So I go back, king h2. Yes, king h2 was a little bit. It was not consistent with the game. He needed to do something more energetic, like g4. So taking, look at this, inaccuracies. We're not doing the best moves. I know that I talked. At this point, I mentioned g5, but I wasn't happy because then the bishop couldn't take. So let me see. Knight takes, c6. Yeah, this move we're comfortable with. So these are moves that we know from before. Now, saving the bishop, that was a good call. I did it mainly because I wanted to save the bishop. So I guess we were following the principles there. Bishop d2, inaccuracy, taking the pawn. Look, not a good move. And that's something to keep in mind. Don't be greedy. Sometimes those pawns are just going to backfire on you, so keep that in mind. So taking the pawn maybe was not the best idea. Queen b6 seems to be better. Now, to me, queen b6, it's a little bit counterintuitive because I feel like I should be bringing the queen towards the king side, the center. But anyways, rook a2. There, guys, we talked about rook b1. So the bishop goes back. Don't forget that. Queen c2. Queen e7, you see now, I guess it makes sense, but this is where my queen, I felt it should have gone all the time. So 96, inaccuracy as well, g5, they keep liking that g5. I guess I underestimated it. Knight h4, we know that's a blunder. Taking is the best way to go. I was considering now, guys, g5, we talked about it, but this seems more accurate. And now g5, of course. Guys, I'm gonna leave it here because the rest is pretty straightforward. We got material, you should know how to handle this. So I'm going to just go back to this setup. There we go. And let me see who we can. Let's see who's going to challenge me next. Let me see. Yeah, good point here before we get into the game. A4, guys, is a move that we have talked about, I know, on the King and defense. What it does is that it fixes his pawn structure. If I go A4 here, and I know it was many moves ago, this pawn is going to be fixed. It's a pawn that blocks two pawns. So that's the thing. But anyways, that's how we learn. Okay, so let me. Okay, so man, I have to play you 100%. Oh, let me see if they let me. Guys, bear with me. I'm new to this, first time. Okay, so Rob Rams to